So did you ever hear that drumming was hard? Like, who told you that? Because I've been told that by many people who couldn't drum, and they told me drumming is hard. So I've been drumming for 18 years and teaching for 7, and if it's something I know that everybody can drum, it's something we've been doing since ancient times, coming together, drumming and dancing and singing and expressing ourselves truly from the heart, just what feels right in the moment. Okay? So we have to see that when we are beginners, when we haven't been drumming for some time, we're like a 2-year-old kid. Okay? We can't do more than maybe stand up and take a few steps and then we fall down, and that's so fine. I mean, that's so fine. We have to accept where we are at, okay? So skill level is one thing, and then playing music is another thing. Now, to play music, what we really want to do is to understand a few concepts, okay? So what is music really? Now, for me, music is like a language. It's something we use to communicate between us. So music exists between us. So if we play a song, that's another thing. That's more in the skill spectrum of things, okay? When we play music, we want to be open to what comes to us. I'm not saying that songs is not music, but music is more than just songs, okay? Songs are beautiful, and they carry lots of emotions and feelings and words and communication, yes. But they can also be one-sided, because in songs there is right and wrong. In music there is no right and wrong. Like how you play the drum in a song, it's gonna be like, okay, this rhythm is in this song. But when we play music, it's more an open space, and whatever I play, you hear, and whatever you play, I hear. So when we're just jamming, we could call this jamming, I want to hear what you are saying, and I want to respond to that. So I'm not going to tell you when we're jamming, like, hey, you're playing wrong, okay? It's not going to happen. If you slow down, I hear that, I will also slow down. Or I will keep my tempo and be like, yo, where are you going? Like, so music is more about communicating and seeing what happens in the moment. Okay. Now, I have 5 pillars or topics that I want to talk about. I call them pillars because for me they feel like stability if we want to get into playing drums. Okay. So the first pillar is like the one. It's all about putting yourself on the drum. Okay, you start playing. Now what's gonna happen usually is that a fear will come up. Now this fear you want to acknowledge, you want to accept, you want to invite. Okay, what you can do, which is really helpful, is to put it down on a piece of paper. Like people think that I'm afraid of, my fear is people think that I'm too much, or I'm too loud, or I play wrong. Okay? How many sentences you want to put? You put them down so that when they come, you can see, okay, this is my fear that I have. It has nothing to do with the environment. It's me projecting it onto the people here. Okay? If you can see that, you're not afraid of it anymore. Okay? Because it's not true. Well, it might be true, but how can you know that? You have to go and ask them to know if it's true or not. Now, I'm going to say it's not true. Okay? For in most parts, it's not true. So what you want to do is you want to meet that fear, say, okay, now the fear is coming. You keep playing. Okay? If you keep playing and you say to yourself, okay, the fear is coming, I see the fear, I welcome the fear, I say, oh fear, take my hand and walk with me. Okay? You invite the fear. And you keep moving your body on the drum. Boom, chicka boom, chicka boom, chicka boom. And when you're moving and feeling the fear releases. Okay, this is a very important step. Because if you, usually what we do when we fear something is that we freeze up. And this freezing up is gonna keep that fear stuck. It's like stuck energy. But if we relax into it, we welcome it, we move it, it's gonna pass. Okay, that's the first step. You put yourself out there on the drum, start playing. Second step is all about listening. Okay, I'm playing, what am I playing? Other people are playing, what are they playing? Okay, you listen. Now here we can also talk about groove for just a short moment. I don't want to get too technical in this short presentation. Like groove is created from 2 strokes basically. So we have the first, the one. Now the one is the most important. I want to say important, but all things, all places in music are important. But if we start together, we're gonna sync. Okay, it doesn't mean we have to start at the same time, but if everybody plays 1, chicka chicka boom, chicka chaka chicka, chicka chicka boom, chicka chaka chicka, that's a nice base. It's a nice beginning of a structure, and it creates a feeling of home. So 1, and then the second hit. If you only play 2 hits. So even if I play more hits, those 2 that are more accentuated, and they're more strong, they're more, the volume is higher, or that's where we lean. So if we were going up a very high, like stairs, going very sharp up, steep, very steep stairs, we hold on to the rails, yeah? And we take 1, and we take 2, and we take 1, and we take 2, okay? These moments you put your hands there, you can pull yourself up. So that was a short description on the groove. So the groove is created by these 2, okay? So you focus on the groove, you focus on boom, bam, boom, boom, bam, boom, bam. So the groove is bam, boom, bam. Here is the groove, and you can feel it in your body. That's what you feel when you're dancing. You're feeling the groove, okay? That's an important thing. It's about feeling. Now, talking about feeling, we're going to go into the third step, and we're going to talk about flow. So we all have flow in our day. Many times during the day, we get into a flow state. And think of the thing that you do most. That's probably where you have the most flow. Okay, one good example is driving the car. If you're a car driver, which means every day you're driving the car, or every other day, you know how to drive. You don't have to think about it. It just happens. Okay, basically you start it and then you just go. You're like driving to work. You're like at work. You're like, did I drive actually? Sometimes you're like, did I actually do that? I don't even remember, because you didn't put your mind there. It was made by your subconscious mind, you could say, like by your reflexes, by your what you've been learning about driving, and that you've been driving a lot. So you get into a flow. You make the gear, you take the turns, you see and you do. There is no interaction from the mind. You can be thinking of anything else. Okay, sometimes we do interact with our minds. We're like, oh, something's happening over there, I gotta stop, you know? So even when we work, but we're on the computer, or we're painting, or we're creating something, or we are talking. Talking is a nice thing to talk about when we're talking about flow, because when we're talking about something that we are passionate about, we usually end up talking in a flow. Okay, we just keep talking and the words just comes to us. Now, this is the same thing we can do in music. Now, how do we do that? Well, when we're talking, it's like we're touching upon a topic, like a feeling that we have, and we just want to express it. Now, same thing we can do on the drums. Now, the difference between talking and playing music is that when I'm talking, I will be interrupted if you start talking. You can be like, You can be adding some small rhythms, I would say, to my talks. But if you start talking at the same time, I might lose my flow because I have to take in what you're saying. Now that's words. Words are different than music. Now these rhythms that I'm playing, it's the words of the drum. Now if I'm playing and you're playing, that's going to give me more flow than if I'm playing alone. Usually. Depends on how much we're syncing, how much we're listening to each other. So the third pillar, it's about going into flow. And how can we go into flow? Now, one technique you can get from me right now is that if you put your attention here on how you're feeling inside, and keep that feeling and listen to the soundscape, to all the sounds around you. Now, do this now. What sounds can you hear? You can hear my background noise. You can hear me talking. Maybe something in your room you can hear. Maybe you move a little bit and you hear your clothes moving. Like all these small sounds. You want to hear them. You want to open up your ears to them. Now, still feel how it feels to hear all these sounds. And then you start making sounds on the drum. Now this is a very important step. When you're making sounds on the drum, you want to listen to it like you were listening to me talking now, or your favorite song, or a master playing an instrument. You want to listen and really allow all the sounds to just come in, like you were listening to birds singing. That's a beautiful example, because you're never gonna say that bird is singing wrong, or that bird was doing something that I didn't like. Usually, I mean, here in Bali there's one bird that goes like super weird sound. Maybe we'll hear it soon. Sometimes it's like whoa, intense. But usually we just appreciate those sounds. Now, if you can play and appreciate the sounds coming out from your drum, that's gonna help you play music. Okay, so then we have to keep the mind busy, and we keep the mind busy by listening to what's happening, and by feeling here, and by playing. So we have 3 points of attention that's going to keep the mind very busy, and we can just revel in being in flow and play. And if we can keep that listening of just appreciation of what we're doing, then we're gonna develop so much faster. That's one thing. 2, we're gonna stay in the flow. 3, we're gonna inspire others because we're playing fluent, like in flow. Now, if you hear that, oh, I'm a bit fast, or I'm a bit loud, you slowly adjust. Okay, this is if you're playing with someone or with a record. Now, when you're playing alone, just allow. Practice allowing, because music runs through us. It's not something you create and you're gonna hold on to, right? It's something that just flows through us. And if you want to adjust it slowly. Don't stop playing, because you're gonna hurt yourself. It's like you're touching the fire. Ow! Like your whole body goes, ow! I'm never gonna touch the fire again. Like if you play wrong and someone looks at you like this, and you're like, oh, I'm never gonna play drums again. So adjust slowly, okay? You want to keep your nervous system calm. Okay, breathing is also good. We're not gonna talk about it this time, but we can also do a lot with the breath. I can mention this, that if you play in your tense, it's not going to be as good if you're relaxed. Now, how do we get relaxed? We can use the breath. So a nice exercise, okay, it came, is to play 4 beats on the drum, like boom, pam, boom, pam. You can use both hands. And just breathe. So breathe in 4, breathe out 4. You can also, so that's the first one. The second one you can do is breathe in 4, hold for 4. Breathe out 4, hold for 4. Now, I can talk more about this in a later video, but now I'm going to focus on the basic principles of pillars of just playing music. We talked about the third one and going into flow, and then really listening. Now, listening is something that is not a pillar in what I'm talking about, because listening is in and through everything we do. Okay? If you practice the skill of listening, you will see amazing results in your playing music and in your everyday life. Listening is such an undervalued skill. Trust me, I didn't realize that until playing music for years. Now, when I started to notice what my listening was capable of helping me to do, it's just skyrocketed. My music is like bursted out of me. Now, enough of that. The fourth pillar of playing drums is to have a structure. Okay, usually we play in 4 beats per bar. So it's like 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So here is important. The 1 is important. And then the balance points, which is like the second strong hit that we do in one bar, that creates the groove. We talked about that. Now, what we want to do is we want to create a repetitive pattern that we can go back to at all times. That maybe if we are many people playing, that we can have similar or same repetitive pattern. Okay? That's going to help us build a nice structure from where we can go to other places. Now, if we have that and we're playing, it might change after a while, and then it changed. So then there is another repetitive pattern going on that we want to dive deep into to create this structure, this sense of like home, of belonging. And from there we can go into the 5th pillar, which is freedom, expression, fire. Now, if we were 10 people playing and we all go like Gah! Crazy on the drum, we're gonna lose that nice connection between us. So if we have that repetitive pattern going for us, boom, chicka, boom, chicka, boom, chicka, boom, then one at a time, or maybe 2 people start expressing themselves to each other. It's like they're having a heated discussion, like bam, boom, 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 bam. Now, here, you see where you are at which level you are at. If you're a beginner, you can only do as much. But in this point of playing, you want to put yourself out there. You want to go outside your comfort zone and just play. Okay. So one important note here is when you start expressing yourself freely, you want to stop listening to yourself and listen to everyone else. Okay, this is the big trick, because if you are focusing on yourself and just expressing, like, oh, I'm so cool, you're gonna speed up. I'm 100% sure you're gonna speed up until you have the skill to know the tempo deep in your body, and then you can listen to yourself going off. But in the beginning, we need to listen to the others playing the repetitive pattern to know where we are in the bar, in the rhythm, in the song, okay? And when we are expressing ourselves, we don't need to listen to that. We can just enjoy that. Okay, what we listen to, what we focus on is the others, so that we can stay in the music. Because the music exists, again, between us. So if I go off on my own, I'm not really playing music anymore. I'm playing other kind of music than what we were doing here, right? So a nice little trick or exercise, if you want, is to hear the 1 and don't play the 1 on your drum, but you just feel the 1 in your whole body. Okay, then keep listening to the others, and then again, when the 1 comes, you stop play, and then you begin again. This is like how I play. This is how I feel music, and I just love talking about it and love sharing it. I'm so grateful that I had the time here now to share this with you. I get super excited, and I can't wait to start the course, and I hope to see you there. Oh, thank you. Have a great day, and hopefully see you soon online.